Good day to one and all. This is the third topic I'm taking. The first topic was on the call. The second topic was on images of God. And we continue along the same line with a different word, encounters with the Lord. As children or youth, we liked to watch Star Trek, Star Wars. There was a series of them that helped us to kind of get into another world of encountering with other aliens. The one I liked the best was E.T. Well made, with a human touch, emotional approach, the encounter of an alien with a boy from this earth. Timothy Keller speaks about in his book Encounters with Jesus. The title of the book is strange, Prodigal God. What a strange title. But nevertheless, he speaks about the encounters with Jesus being provoking, stimulating, healing, confronting, challenging, and transforming. I picked up some ideas from there, and with my own examples and experiences, I put them across to you. What are some of the unexpected statements of Jesus? Let's take the four Gospels and take one from each. Matthew, the cleansing of the temple. Unexpected statement. My house is a house of God prayer. You have turned it into a den of thieves. Mark, the episode is about the paralyzed person being put down from the roof of that place where Jesus was preaching and healing. And the gospel passage says in Mark, seeing their faith, unexpected statement, seeing their faith, the faith of those friends of that paralytic, Jesus went on to heal. Luke gospel, the Roman officer and the servant. Such faith, Jesus says, I have not seen, addressing the Roman officer who seeks the healing for his servant. And John's Gospel, the adulterous woman, chapter 8, has no one condemned you? Even I will not condemn you. Unexpected statements. Or you may say they are quite revealing, giving us an insight into God. I go further and I picked up some unexpected questions. And just for a sample, one from each gospel. Matthew's gospel, the Lord telling the apostles the agony in the garden. Could you not stay awake? Mark's gospel. What does it profit a man, a person, to have gained the whole world and lose his very soul? Luke's gospel, the million-dollar question, if I might say so. Who do people say I am? And in John's gospel, the blind man, Jesus says, do you want to be healed? All these are strange questions. Unexpected. Let's go further and see what are the meaningful invitations given by Jesus. The famous is Zacchaeus. I must stay in your house today. Samaritan woman. I am the living water. Martha and Mary. She has chosen the better part. Meaningful invitations. Jesus, in a way, confronting Martha. And to Peter, the good words, you are the rock, and on this rock I will build my church. Meaningful invitations to a better tomorrow. I must stay with Zacchaeus, the living water to the Samaritan woman, telling Martha Mary has chosen the better part, and to Peter that he is the rock. I go to a fourth one, and I picked this from Keller's book, Game-Changing Responses. What are some of the things that changed things completely? A kind of a paradigm shift. We see that in John's Gospel, first chapter, come and see. And as I said earlier, it was a game-changing response. Come and see. And they stayed there almost the whole day. To Peter, do you love me? And not once but thrice. Jesus, in a way, confronting Peter and challenging him. Do you love me? And after that, the person is transformed completely. Launch out into the deep. Go beyond, explore. To the fishermen who are his disciples. Launch out into the deep, challenging them to go out into the deep, explore. And the line I like the best is asking his disciples, Jesus saying, do you also want to go away? And then Peter responds on behalf of them, saying, Lord, to whom shall we go? You alone have the words of eternal life. Game-changing responses to situations. Today's gospel passage, we have the Emmaus experience as given to us by St. Luke. I don't read it out, but it's chapter 24, verse 13 onwards. We have read it often. And in this particular passage, we notice 5 things that happen. It's a very familiar passage and we like to preach on it. But the 5 things that I observed were the disciples were shattered, depressed. Even today, we are shattered, depressed at what's happening around us. There's a total breakdown. Health world, economic world, there's a breakdown, depressed. Families are struggling. The second one, Jesus walks with them. Unknown to them, they didn't even know that it was Jesus who was walking with them. Jesus walks with us in good times and in difficult moments. Even today, He walks with us, not abandoning us. He does not save us from the storm. He saves us by coming with His powerful touch when the storm is on. The third one, the disciples, the two going on the journey to Emmaus, conveyed high expectations of the Messiah, of the person who would be redeeming them, who would liberate them. Even today, we have high expectations of God. Our patience runs out when we think that He is not listening to us. Our loved ones are dying and our prayers have not been answered. Even today, we had high expectations of the Lord and we seem disappointed. The fourth one, Jesus puts everything in proper perspective. Even today, we need to see things, if I may use the phrase, a little clearer, a little sharper, a little brighter. We would like to see things as God would like us to see things. We need to reflect and see things in its proper perspective. And Jesus puts things in its proper perspective. And the fifth one, the disciples, their eyes were opened and their hearts were aflame. Even today, on hindsight, we say, there I got some insight. There I felt the power of God. There I felt someone close to me. Through events and through people, the Lord walks with us. So the Emmaus experience is a good thing to kind of reflect for our own selves as well as give those insights to others. Going further, we talk about Notre Dame Cathedral. When this cathedral was built, it was built on marshy grounds. And the architect, the contractor, the engineer knew that it was on marshy grounds. But they had to build a huge cathedral, and they knew that at some day the ground would shift and the center of gravity of that whole structure might shift, and no one will be the wiser. But when it has shifted to a great extent, the whole magnificent structure would collapse. And so, the one responsible, call it the engineer, the one responsible for the magnificent structure, had a simple device. The dome on top of the altar had a tiny hole. And on the altar was a brass plate, small brass plate. Only on the 22nd of June, the arrangement was in such a way that a ray of light could enter through that tiny hole opening in the dome, and it should fall on that small brass plate on the altar. If it had gone to the right, left, north or south, means the center of gravity of that structure was shifting. And this check and balance system happened year after year. So as soon as they knew that the center of gravity of the structure had slightly shifted, they got into work and once again helped through means to get that structure regain its center of gravity. I share this with you because our spiritual center of gravity at times shifts because of various reasons. And therefore, we need to have a check and balance system, how we can regain our spiritual center of gravity. Otherwise, it goes a shift a little, another time a little more, and then we fall flat. Do we have a check and balance system? I share that with you because with the reflection on the encounters with Jesus, there's a good way of having a check and balance system. There's another edifice or a structure in London at the Polytechnic. There's a kind of an amusement park, not a very big one like Disneyland, but there is a huge bell, and this bell is lowered into a tank full of water. I hope you got the picture. But that's a huge bell, and there are seats on the inner rim of the bell. This is the bell, the inner rim of the bell. And it is lowered into a tank, a huge tank full of water. So what do you expect? The water rising, it almost touches your feet, and then everyone screams because they are sure the water will rise above and drown them. But it does not happen. Why? Because as soon as the water touches the feet of all those sitting on the inner rim of the bell, then at that very moment, to avoid it rising higher, pressurized air from above is sent. And so, at the feet of these people sitting on the inner rim of the bell, there is a battle taking place between the force of water from below and the pressurized air from above. And the pressurized air from above, that force being greater, the water is kept in its place. Check and balance system. We need to have that check and balance system. Some kind of pressurized air, inverted commas, the power of the Holy Spirit coming from above, the healing touch coming from the Good Shepherd would help us not to get drowned in the circumstances that surround us. I go a little further and I pick up 2 books which give us an insight into the leadership of Jesus who encounters people. I have one from Sofield and Kuhn. They interviewed lay people. These are outstanding theologians, and they interviewed other people quite knowledgeable about their faith. And these 2, in their book, The Collaborative Church, or The Collaborative Leadership, as he further describes, picks up what people have thought or learned about Jesus. There are many, but the first 5 are Jesus as a creator of vision. And examples given are the Beatitudes, the episode of the Last Judgment, a certain vision given by Jesus. And when you encounter this vision of Jesus, you are kind of transformed. The second one is they felt Jesus was authentic, no fake feelings. He expressed sorrow, anguish, anger, joy, peace. Authentic. This is the way they felt Jesus encountered people, and they liked this particular aspect of his leadership. First was a vision that he had, visionary. Second, Jesus was authentic. Third, Jesus was compassionate. A gospel passage in recent Sundays that he had compassion on the people because they were like sheep without a shepherd. The empathy, the feeling, the sensitivity of what the people were going through. This is what they liked about the leadership of Jesus. The fourth one they picked up was Jesus was straightforward, direct, assertive. He challenged. He was not aggressive, but he was assertive. This is the leadership they liked. And the fifth one, Jesus was empowering. Whether it's the apostles, the disciples, the individuals, or people who came to him, all of them were empowered. Why these 5 things I share with you is, this is the Good Shepherd. And there are many qualities about his leadership, but these people have picked up these 5 as the most important. Because if these are also integrated in us, people will experience and encounter another Christ in us, whether we are a seminarian, deacon, or a priest. Next to it, I like that famous Anthony Dsouza's book, world-renowned lecturer in leadership. He has the book titled Leadership, many other books he has, but all dealing with leadership. And there is a chapter on Jesus as the leader. And a clever way of putting all this in S. He tells or reflects that with priests. Jesus as the servant leader, the first S. What appealed to many priests, he says, is that the service ability of Jesus, the humility with which he went down to help people or reach out to them. The second S Father Anthony Dsouza picks up is Jesus as supportive. And this is especially for us priests, deacons. Supportive, understanding. People come to us, we need to kind of be understanding, build up their confidence, help them out to get out of whatever zone they might be in. Third one, Jesus as the shepherd, availability of that person appealed to them. Fourth one, Jesus as a steward, a trustworthy person, accountable, responsible, transparent, inspiring. And the fifth one, the sacrifice aspect of Jesus. Remained focused on his mission, the mission to redeem mankind. Once again, I share this with you because I do not want to kind of elaborate on each one. You could find that out from the book. But I think these pointers are very useful to us. In our encounter of Jesus, have we seen him as the servant leader? Have we seen him as being supportive, as the good shepherd, as the steward, as the person self-sacrificing? Because if that touches us through our encounter with Jesus, automatically it will flow in our ministries. So, my dear people, my dear friends, we have taken up a couple of topics today, all related to encounters with the Lord. The questions unexpected, the game-changing responses, the leadership qualities people have seen, the leadership qualities the priests have seen and should be seeing or recommended. I like to conclude by taking you to another word. I was reading a book of Paulo Coelho. He's an author, Brazilian novelist, and speaking about leadership, especially to pastors. I wonder whether he was speaking to a group of pastors, but one chapter of it speaks on that. He offers them what is called the tea bag leadership. Quite amusing. I share that with you. It's nice to sometimes pick up what others also think that we should be doing. And speaking to pastors, he said, you should have the tea bag leadership. One, what is important in a tea bag is not the bag, but what is inside it, the tea. So the tea bag may come with various fancy packaging. That does not matter much. But what matters is what is in that bag, the tea, the concoction over there. So speaking to pastors, he said, what matters is your value system, which you have picked from the encounter with your master, whoever that master is. Be it the Lord, be it the good shepherd, be it some guru, whatever it is. What have you picked up? What is there inside? Not your outward show as you give it to the people. The second one, the tea bag cannot be put in a cold water or a lukewarm water. It has to be in hot water. So his challenge to the pastors was, be brave. You're a leader. Face challenges. There will be obstacles in your life. Get rid of that fear and failure because you have the Lord. He doesn't name it with Jesus, the title Jesus. You have the Lord, the Guru in your life. With that power, you move forward. You need to get into hot water. It's a good challenging thing for us, priests and religious, deacons and seminarians, how we need to get brave and be courageous if we are going to be efficient leaders. The third one is the tea bag is porous. It is not waterproof. That means the hot water gets into that porous bag, mixes with the tea concoction, and then you get the liquid. So he invites leaders, pastors to be approachable. Let others influence you. God is speaking through other people. Let them also be invited so that you can get what the good Lord wants to tell you from their very experience. The fourth one is the tea bag. Someone holds the string. There is a string there, and someone holds the tea bag itself does not hold the string. It's held by someone else, mostly the person who wants to have the tea. What he recommends is that be aware every day that you abide in the Lord and the Lord abides in you. He holds you in the palm of his hands. And that's why you can go forth proudly, feeling that you are the chosen one because his hand is there. Someone holds that string. And the fifth one is the tea bag does not remain there forever. You can't use it for the next one. You need to kind of take it out and a new tea bag has to be put. So keep changing the signs of the times. That shows the sign of a good leader. Be encouraging, be empowering, so that others could come in and be effective. You are not in the limelight, but you allow others to take your place and give the power of the Lord to others. I share with you what Paulo Coelho mentioned, and it's rather humorous about the leadership qualities we learn through a tea bag. God bless you.
Wait a little longer, please, Jesus. There's so many still wandering out in sin. Just a little longer, please, Jesus. A few more days to get our loved ones in. Here the labor is so hard, and the workers are so tired, and our weary hearts are yearning for a rest. And we find we're getting anxious to be in that happy home where we'll receive such peace and happiness. We may look into the skies and tears will fill our eyes, while our burdened hearts grow heavier each day. First we cry, oh Lord, please come and take your children home. But then we look around us and we say, wait a little longer, please, Jesus. There's so many still wandering out in sin. Just a little longer, please, Jesus. A few more days to get our loved ones in. The family's scattered here and there, but Lord, we love them dear, and maybe we can help them find their way. Then if waiting is the cost, that they may not be lost, Lord, that's the only reason why we say, wait a little longer, please, Jesus. There's so many still wandering out in sin. Just a little longer, please, Jesus. Jesus. A few more days to get our loved ones in. Just a little longer, please, Jesus. A few more days to get our loved ones in.